After you've loaded CamTrap Pro and double clicked on it to start it, you'll see the screen in front of you indicating that you're running with the pre-built demo license. If you click OK, the main CamTrap Pro screen appears. Now we want to enter a license key, so we'll click on license, and now we'll search for the list of license keys which are appropriate for this week of data. So here's the license keys by week. We're going to use an example from week 1. So we'll select this license key, copy it, paste it in, apply it, and in this case we don't need to reopen. Just to check, we'll open the license key again, and you can see it's a fixed term license which expires on the 6th of the 7th. Right, now we open the folder containing the data we're going to analyse, which in this case is camera 32 from week 1 of the survey. Now loading is fairly slow the first time any data is loaded into CamTrap Pro, as various data is being cached. So this loading sequence will take about nearly 50 seconds to load a fairly small number of files, but all the subsequent loadings will be much faster because all the required data has actually been cached. Okay, so we'll just expand the window so that we can see all of the information about the data. So we've loaded 1581 files. So the very first thing to do is to look at the count versus time profile of this data. So we click on Analysis, Count versus Time, and we will actually request to show both highlights and tags, even though neither of these have been applied yet. We're warned that this will slow things down a bit, but we'll go ahead anyway. Has a number of steps in it, indicating that there's been a lot of triggering of the cameras over a fairly short period of time. I'll just adjust the screen so that we can see both the time profile and the main screen. Now we'll load up the data from the mega detector animal detector via the machine learning load JSON file option. Now the file that we're after is called image recognition file.json. Click on that, and this will take a little while because it contains animal recognition data from all of the week of data, all of the 35 cameras, and we're just interested in a few of them. Now unfortunately this progress bar doesn't really help that much, tends to stop. But anyway, it's now finished. We do want to reload the data so that we can see the images. And you can now see that with a confidence range between 0.6 and 1.0, the majority of images appear to have an animal in them. So now we can start to have a look at exactly what the nature of the images containing animals according to MegaDetector. So starting at the left, we'll zoom in. So we'll click and drag a box around here, and you can see that the blue triangle indicates where MegaDetector reckons there's an animal present. If we move the cursor over it, the cursor changes to a plus sign, and now if we right click, that file will appear on the main screen, and you can see that this is actually a false positive detection. It's detected the actual bait as an animal. If we move on to the next file, which is the next image, you can see that that too is also there's been a detection, but the level is below the confidence range of 0.6 to 1.0. So we've got the highlight, which indicates that, indicated by the red caption there, but it's actually not an animal. So let's zoom out again by clicking on the the target icons on the two axes, and have a look at the next group of images where an animal has been detected. So there is one. Now in this case, again, it's still showing the bait. So that one's a false one. But it looks as though if we go to the next one, we do have an animal appearing. So let's zoom out again and click here, or rather zoom in, and you can see that there's a lot of detections over a short space of time, which is normally indicating that there's an animal present. Now, what is the animal? So we'd like to tag this image. Looks as though it's probably a kangaroo. Do we know what sort of a kangaroo? Let's have a look further forward. Because it's night time, we can't really tell, but it looks as though it's a little bit darker around just behind the head, so it's probably a red-necked wallaby. So if we now go to the presets, we needed to load up the presets. So to do that, we look at the removable disk, open up the presets, select them all, copy them, and now we paste them into the screen here. So add them, and there they all are. So we've got a what kind of a wallaby is it? It's a red-necked wallaby. So we'll now check that, click copy to tags, and now the file which we've labelled with a tag is shown on the time versus depth. So we'll close there, zoom out again, and go on to the next detection, which is here. And if we look around there, we can move right by clicking the arrow keys, and that definitely looks like a shingleback. So let's open up the presets and select down at the bottom shingleback skink, copy to tags, and there it goes. If we look a bit further, looks as though we now have a crow or some sort of a bird here. Let's just move down a bit, and the red eyes give it away as a chough. So we'll now choose chough from the list of presets. So it's a white-winged chough. Copy it. And now it's marked on the time versus depth. Let's go a bit, close the presets window and have a look a bit further up. What have we got there? Nothing. Still a chough. Go up a bit further. Still a chough. Zoom out. Let's go right up to the top. So another couple of choughs have appeared, but nothing more than a chough. There we've got a false detection. There, very hard to tell what that is, some sort of a lizard, let's say it's unidentified. It's definitely an animal, but we don't know what it is. Okay, zoom out again and go on to the next detection. Well, let's zoom in and see how consistent this was. Something was there nearly all the time. And what do we have? We have one of our goannas. So we'll choose, we'll have a look at some pictures by right clicking. You can see it's moving around, tongue goes out. Definitely a Rosenberg's goanna. So we select that from the list and copy it to the tags. Close it. Let's have a look at this one. Nothing there. Maybe we've missed it. Oh, this looks like our friendly chuff again. So we don't need, we've already got that, so we don't need it. And here's a very active animal, and even though it's at night, we can tell that it's a fox. So we'll choose from the presets, we'll choose a fox and apply it. And there it is. Close it. Let's look around here at these detections. Again, something was around for a long time. Looks like our friendly chuff again. So nothing to add there, because we've already got it for this particular camera. Let's look at this movement. Again, looks like a chuff. Unfortunately we can't see its eyes, but the dull black plumage indicates that it probably is a chuff. And now let's go on to here. And more shinglebacks. We've got those already, so we don't need to tag them. More shinglebacks. More shinglebacks. Now this is a bird, but I don't know what it is, so we'll call that an unidentified bird. Let's go to presets and copy it in. Zoom out again. And we've just got another two to do up here. These look isolated, so they're probably false detections. Looks like someone's arm. Is that a bird or someone's foot? Very difficult to tell. With someone so close, it's unlikely to be an animal. Probably a false detection. And lastly, another one that's definitely a false detection. And so now we've finished processing for our camera 32 of week 1. If we want to review all the tags we've made, we go to Summarize Tags, and we don't want to rebuild it. And here it is. So these are all the creatures which have been detected. There's the camera, there's the image folder, and that's the week of detection. This shows the summary, so if I detected tagged more than one image, we'd still get the same number here, but we get a lot more down below for the tag occurrences, which also include the epoch which has occurred. So that's all that has to be done, and so the processing is now complete for that camera, and we can move on to the next camera. So if we go to Open Folder and select, we'll pretend we've done all the others, go on to camera 33, which contains many more images. that can be loaded up, and we